Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Gary here again. So I got a lot of catching up to do and a lot of stuff rolling around in my head, so I'm going to just go ahead and rip it. How many minutes do I have on here? I'm losing memory. It looks like I'm going to have to get another phone, damn it all. This phone I have is like, 6 years old. It's a Android Galaxy 22. The phones today, they don't last very long. You wear and tear on them and you do stuff with them, and then they need upgrades, and then after you upgrade everything, they just die on you. And then it requires you going out and spend another grand on a new phone. So be it. I'll do it. Anyway, I was thinking today about before I started working for the company I was with for 36 years. In 1985, I was working at a surf and turf restaurant in Cape Cod. As if you look back at some of my programs, you'll see I have a bunch of stuff on that, where I worked for Gino and Gratz and those guys. I came back to Cincinnati in 1986, and I still hadn't got my footing yet. You know, I was just starting my life over again back in Cincinnati after taking a year off from life and living out on Cape Cod. And so I was going to stay with what I did, wait on tables and bartend. And so I sought out different jobs in the Cincinnati area for a job waiting tables or bartending, or both. There was a very prominent family in Cincinnati that had owned a few restaurants that were real high-end restaurants in the Cincinnati area. I'm not going to say their name because Cincinnati is a very small town. Everyone seems to know everyone. And if you live in a part of the world that has a town like that, you understand what I'm saying. And I'm not going to bash their name. I don't know enough about them to do that. I got hired on with this company, with this restaurant. They hired me with what experience I furnished for them working at the Surf and Turf restaurant in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It was a starred restaurant. That's all I know. It was a high-end restaurant. I was over my head. I knew it from day one. I lasted maybe 3 months and they fired me. But I want to talk a little bit about that. So I started out bartending and I did well there. And then they threw me into waiting tables. Well, the dining room was very plush, very high end. The average entree was over $40 a plate. Back in 1986, that was a lot of money. It was a high end restaurant. My very first night on the floor waiting tables. Pardon me. My eye won't close by itself. I got to physically close it. You understand? My very first night waiting tables, they gave me a 13 top. 13 people I had to wait on? I should have had a fucking recorder in my pocket recording what they wanted. So I'm furiously writing down what they want. And I had a bus boy help me bring the dinners out. I know I screwed that order up because I'm trying to figure out who gets what, and people are clinking their glasses. They want more drinks, and a very demanding evening for me. Not only did I have the 13 top, but they gave me 2 4 tops as well. So I was in the weeds from the get-go. The guy that hired me was the maitre d' of the restaurant. He was the son of the owner of the other restaurants in the Cincinnati area. He came from royalty, see. He came from where his feet never touched the ground from birth till he was probably the guy, I'm not going to say his name. He was a few years older than me, so he'd probably be in his early 30s at the time. And he knew I was struggling. He could see I was struggling, but did nothing to help me. Although other people on the staff that had been there long before I was there, they were getting all kinds of extra help from other servers helping them. But he threw me to the wolves. After 2 weeks of this, they were having these team meetings in the restaurant before opening of the restaurant would open at 5. They would have team meetings. And he would always point to me. Let's ask Gary. Gary, what do you think? How do you make that concoction? Gary, what about this? Gary, what about that? He was pinpointing me. Mind you, I did nothing to this man but just work for him. But he was what I would classify as a bully. He was a bully probably in high school. Or he probably went to a parochial school, a private Catholic school. He was probably pampered from birth because he came from money. And he was probably doing what his father did, although I never met his father. His father was probably a prick because his son was a prick. And he pinpointed me. hired me with the skill I had, but with pinpointing me and making me look like a total clown in front of all these other waiters and waitresses. This went on for about 2 more months. And so one night I went in there. He met me at the front door. He goes, "Hey, Gary, come outstairs. Let's go up to my office. I want to talk to you for a second." I was like, "Oh, okay. What are we going to talk about?" I sat down. He sat down. He goes, "Hey, it's not working out for us. You're not working out for us. You're not doing a very good job. You're fired." Just like that. I'm like, "Oh, okay." First time, rare things. I'd never been fired from anywhere. So I went on my merry way, with my tail between my legs. I was still living at home. I lived at home for like 6 more months because when I came home from Cape Cod, I wanted to establish to get a job and then get out and get my own place. There's a whole story behind that. I'm going to go into that another day. But anyway, I started applying for other jobs, different around the city, and nothing stuck. The company I ended up working for 36 years hired me. I put an application in with that company, with that grocery chain, 1 year before they called me. That's how popular the place I worked for 36 years was. There was a waiting list getting in. I finally got hired by the grocery chain that I was with for all this time. Fast forward 2 years. I went from a bagger at age 26, bagging groceries, and then they promoted me to the seafood shop. Now I was a seafood clerk. I got promoted, $2 more an hour. Hey, that was pretty good, right? I'm working in this high-end, it was a higher-end chain of this company in a higher end of Cincinnati, in an area called Madeira, which is right. Madeira is butted up to Indian Hill. Anyone who lives in this area, they know what I'm talking about. It's money. It's like Malibu. It's money. It was a New Year's Eve. I'll never forget it. It's like it happened yesterday. It was New Year's Eve, going in to 1988. We closed the seafood shop at 9 o'clock. That was the time we closed. It was like 5 minutes till 9. I had killed all the lights. I was working that night. I killed all the lights. And now I'm just cleaning the chrome on top of the counter. And up walks this guy. I had my back to the counter. I was straightening some things out. Up walks this person at the counter. And I could hear them smacking their car keys on top of the counter going, "Hello? Hello? You open still?" The lights are off. The case lights are off. The lights in the seafood shop are off. He's clanking his keys. I turn around and I look, and it's like I was looking in a mirror, looking at a ghost. It was the guy that fucking fired me a year and a half before that. And he looked at me like, "I know you." And I looked at him and I was like, "I know who you are." I want to say his name, but I'm not going to. He goes, "Hey, Gary, how are you?" I said, "Oh, hey, so-and-so. How are you?" "Oh, well, I'm pinched. My wife's got me down here. She wants some fresh shrimp. We're having a New Year's Eve party. We're out of fresh shrimp. And I was just hoping you could hook me up. Hook up an old friend." And I'm thinking, what's up? The balls on this guy. The balls on the guy that fired me. The stones on this guy. "Hey, you can help me hook up an old friend." I said, "Well, we're closed. It's 9 o'clock now." He goes, "Wow, but I'm here." I said, "Yeah, but I'm here too. And we're closed. So sorry about your luck. Sucks to be you." So that's exactly what it says. "Sucks to be you. Sorry about your luck." He goes, "Hey, come on, Gary. I'm here. What do you got? You got anything back there at all? Fresh shrimp?" I said, "Tell you what. We package up shrimp in little plastic bowls. They're right out there near your knees in the cooler. I'm not buying those. They can't be fresh." I said, "Oh, yes, they are." I know they weren't. They were made the day before. So they were made the day before because I was here. I made them the day before. They weren't unedible, but they were nearing expiration date. I told them, no, they were made. I made them this morning. You kidding me? Hey, they're nice and fresh. Take as many as you want. Go on. It'll be good. Trust me. Trust me. They wouldn't be in the case unless they were good. He goes, "Are you sure?" I said, "I wouldn't lie to you, man. I wouldn't lie to you." Why would I lie to you? What are old friends all about anyway? I just wanted to reach over the counter and rip his head off. What are the odds? But he had to have lived in Indian Hill. Because why? He came from royalty. Clanking his BMW keys on top of my metal counter. Hello? Hello? So he proceeded to buy 3 of these packages. And I went around the front of the counter because now I had to mark down what was out there that was getting close to date. The ones he grabbed were made the day before yesterday. So now those were a little bit older. Those were going to get marked down. But he bought them anyway. Didn't look at the dates. He just figured, oh, they must all be fresh. I guarantee you that night he took those home and didn't rinse them, because people know better that even if you do own a restaurant like he does, he probably had all his chefs and all his cooks and prep cooks you rinse everything when you take it home after it's been packaged. If you're going to have fresh chicken, you rinse it. If you're going to have fresh fish, you rinse it. If you're going to have fresh shrimp, you rinse it in cold water before you serve it. I guarantee he didn't. A film will build up on shrimp. It'll sweat after it's been sitting, although it's in the cold. But it bleeds out moisture. It's called sweat. He probably took those home, opened them up, put them on a tray. His wife arranged it on the tray. God forbid the wife probably has to arrange anything because the caterer left early for New Year's Eve. I'm putting the scenario together because I guarantee you he had the flying shits that night. I guarantee you if he didn't have the flying shits that night, he had them the next morning along with all of his guests. Were the shrimp bad? No. They wouldn't have been in the case. They were going to be marked down, but they were substandard. They weren't fresh. And what better way to happen to a guy that fired me a year and a half before that? Isn't that beautiful? I just wish I had known. I mean, I never saw him again. So I'm assuming he probably blamed something else on the catering table that night. But I know there's nothing worse than getting sick on seafood. Nothing worse. So he had it probably coming out both ends. Probably out the shitter and out the mouth. Oh, yeah. And all of his guests, too. They ate that shrimp. Oh, yeah. Payback's a bitch, isn't it? Anyway, that's all I got. It's going to be a short one. I got to get out of here. I got to put some eye drops in my eye. I'm going to keep running my mouth. I'll give you shit about this paralyzing part of my head. If people haven't watched the last video I put up this morning, Bell's palsy. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to stop talking. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep rolling. Train kept it rolling all night long. That's all I got. I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go eat some food. You guys have a fantastic night. What's left of it. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace out.